When you make a trade in the middle of a season, it's very difficult. The only team I seen that was seamless in making that change was when Pau Gasol came to the Lakers in 2008. You know, you had Jimmy Butler still trying to figure it out, too. So I think it's going to be a work in progress the rest of the season.
Rasheed Wallace in 04, too, coming to Detroit.
True.
That was mid-season.
Yeah.
I reject the premise.
You
know, like, here's the thing. Like, I just think this, figure out the rotation is a very retrograde concept back in a day when there were 5 positions and 5 guys. The truth of the matter is there are going to be series for Philadelphia that demand Amir Johnson for 20 minutes a night. And there are series where he doesn't get off the bench at all because it's Mike Scott, because it's free-flowing and everything else. Like, I think they've got not great depth, but I think they've got sufficient depth. They got maybe the strongest starting lineup in the East when everybody is well. And I just think this notion of you need to figure out the rotation. Who does that anymore?
Well, I'm going to disagree with you on this. You got to figure out the combinations. You got to figure out, last thing you want,
yes.
You're right. There may be situational series where Amir Johnson is more important than Mike Scott and vice versa, but the last thing you want to do is throw out 5 guys who played like a total of 7 minutes together the entire season.
Absolutely.
And so there is some figuring out there, especially when you consider it's not just the basketball fit, but also the egos, right?
True. I just think that in terms of, I mean, we know the combinations that work. Like, we know J.J. Redick and Joel Embiid, to the extent that they are going to stagger and to stay on the court together, because that's one of the best kind of small bigs just in terms of variance and everything else. But I just think this notion that absolutely he has to have all the answers right now in a world where Clint Capella is not even on the floor for, you know, Mike D'Antoni in Game 6 in the crucial moments of Game 6 last season.
Right.
And by the way, probably a good decision. I just think that we put too much of a premium on this notion. I agree. Like, guys need to get reps together. Continuity is great. It's the mother's milk of
It's the end of the game that's most important.
Right, but I just think that's
the last 5 minutes, that's the rotation that needs to be
And we know who those
out.
5 guys are going to be.
But is that the right thing to do?
I don't know. I mean, who do you want in for Tobias Harris? Who do you want for Jimmy Butler? I mean, maybe it's Ben Simmons on the floor because he can't shoot.
I'm not saying it's easy to say who gets to be out. I'm just saying maybe those 5 guys
I'm
together.
Just the Sixers have challenges.
Yep.
I just don't think figuring out the mysterious, you know, like Temple of Doom is the problem.
Lucasfilm getting all the shout-outs today. All right, Kobe recently said Ben Simmons needs to learn to shoot. Here's Ben's response to Kobe's advice.
I mean, that's what people say in general. It's not just like a Kobe thing. And I know that. I'm just about my game, trying to get better.
Thank you. Thank you, Ben. Kevin, do you think Simmons is tired of getting the same advice from literally everyone?
Ben looks like Ron Livingston in Office Space being told to read the TPS report memo. Like, he knows he's gotten the TPS report memo. He knows he's not a good shooter. By the way, Kobe's not wrong. I just think that, like he's well aware. And, you know, here's the problem for Ben Simmons a little bit. It complicates matters. Most #1 picks come in. They get a couple years to work out and refine their weaknesses and shortcomings. Like, Sixers are contending. Like, there's not, like, we thought it would be great if he was on some team like Orlando.
Yeah.
Hey, you can kind of stretch that out for a couple of years. You take some shots. There aren't many opportunities for him to just do it, like, right there. Like, he's got to be up 30.
Only guy he needs to listen to right now is Jason Kidd. Remember when we used to call him Asen?
Yeah.
They said he had no J.
Yeah.
And that's not to say that Jason needs to teach him how to shoot the same way. More the mentality. More the what did you do? What was your work ethic to go from having a horrible jump shot to having a jump shot that kept you in the league for 5 years?
Well, he finished like
and
4th in 3-point
and sent you to the Olympics.
But I'll tell you something else that Jason Kidd did. If you look at the development, it started with catch and shoot. It started with swing, feet set, shoot. And when I see Ben Simmons shoot, it's always kind of this weird hesitation, like dribbling up. Not a hesitation dribble, but like, should I be doing this? I'm not sure. All right, give it a try. And everyone kind of falling back on him. And I think if they got him more shots in the rhythm, I'm not saying he'll make them. I think that's better for his shooting development.